Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of Fantastic Four, the world's greatest comic magazine. It's an Omnibus edition, of course you can see there, it's about 760 odd pages, though of course as always there's no page numbering. Why? I really do not like books without page numbering. It just makes it easier just to find this particular story. You know, even if you don't put page numbering on every page, occasionally it would be nice a bit of page numbering so you know where you are and thing. However, that's a minor issue. It's got a lot of stories. And it's got, this is all Marvel Now. You can see that Marvel Now, and you can see all the people involved there. And of course, probably many others as well. There's a lot of lists of various writers, credits, etc. there. I don't know what that one is. Fantastic Four 5AU. Not even, anyway, whatever that was. It's a story split over multiple different stories. In fact, there's the key story, as far as I could see, was this. This is the start. Now, there's going to be a few spoilers because it's impossible to describe this book in any shape or form without mentioning, obviously, the characters that turn up in this. So that's the central part. That's the central part of the whole story. Not that that's, obviously, that's happened. That's where the story starts, but that's the whole point of the story, as far as I could see. Well, along with other things as well. There's quite a lot of like Doom-verse, Doom sort of stories. Council of Doom, there's obviously Doom there. Doom turns up all the time. There's a point where I love Doom, but I think sometimes maybe they should rest the character. And there's a lot more characters in the Fantastic Four universe that they could explore. There must be, surely. You know, they could do a whole series of stories about the Super Skrull or something. They probably have. However, it's a lot of going back to an era where the origin of the Fantastic Four as well as in this. Also, I love the artwork. The artwork, of course, Michael Allred. I love Michael Allred. There, great artist, and that was the main reason I bought it. Also, there's a great couple, well, one story actually, the Caesar story that's in here as well. When they go back to ancient Rome, a lot of time travel as well, and I love stories of Rome. When it came out, I bought that instantaneously, so I was so over the moon when I actually picked this up. For next to nothing, it was a special offer. So, ooh, and then I thought, I wonder if it's going to have the Caesar story, and it did. And I love that. Just brilliant story. I love the family aspects of this story as well. There's a real sort of sense of the family, the future foundation, all the group, and all the various relationships between all the characters. There's a lot. And you've got Dragon Man in the story. You've got obviously the She-Hulk. You've got Medusa, and also I really felt. This should have been called the AntMan Omnibus. I mean, Scott Lang, really, really good. And he actually, for the first time, I feel, really starts to use when you look back at the early sort of Tales to Astonish, the old one, I was always sort of thinking, you know what, that ability to shrink and grow and all that sort of stuff, you could use that in thousands of different ways. And boy, old Hank Pym, for all the brilliant scientist he was, never really exploited it particularly. He was it was a bit useless. I mean, he had resources of the entire ant kingdom at his hand, and also probably other creatures. But he didn't. And I was thinking, even then, I was thinking, what? And they really sort of stretched this character a lot more in this, so which is really good. It's nice that Hank Pym, for all his genius, Scott Lang just brings a lot more to the story and more to the character, and actually is a pleasure to read. And so it's quite often AntMan sort of written off, sort of dismissed as a character, but I think that there's more potential to AntMan and Giant Man and all those sort of stories than they did. However, Fantastic Four have got problems. They're going backwards and forwards in time to sort things out, going to different places, going to the edges of the universe and beyond the edges of the universe or wherever. Into places they meet various characters. There's some great appearances by numerous characters all the way through. Some I will not say because I don't want to spoil it. But there's, like, of course, Mole Man. He turns up, good old Mole Man. And other, I love the monster as well. So I assumed the monster was from the first issue, Fantastic Four #1. Seems splat. Looking a bit upset. What am I doing here? This is supposed to be my day off. He's got yum. That was a bit of obviously from there. This is my day off. What am I doing? I'm getting bashed over the head by all these people. I didn't like this character. I must admit, the Fantastic Four are dead. Well, obviously they're not. That'd be it, wouldn't it? It's finished. The book's finished. No, they're not. But he obviously comes in and says all that sort of stuff. He just annoyed me as a character, I must admit, and I did find it confusing. This book I really did find, because quite often what happened, and I obviously won't be able to show an example, it's always the way, but there was like, you get one page and the story would go blah, 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 all the way down, and then next page it would suddenly jump back to the other story, because the Fantastic Four left a group of characters, obviously Ant-Man, etc., all back to help save the world, etc. But they were only going to be gone for 4 minutes. Of course, that didn't happen. But it was just the fact that I found it confusing when they kept jumping backwards and forwards, and the storyline just went all over the place at times. But it was still good. The FF is dead. He's really obviously obsessed about that, of course. We know that's not the case. And it got like multi-universes were involved, everything. They threw the kitchen sink into this story. And sometimes it just got a bit messy. I love this alien race. You've got an alien race that obviously loves the FF, which is nice, which I guess would happen with this. The FF have saved the universe multiple times. Of course, at some point people would turn around and say, you know what, they're a pretty good bunch. Of course, down on Earth, we basically treat them with complete contempt, and we obviously kick them out of Baxter Building or wherever they are this week. No idea. However, I love this character as well. He's an annoying character. Bentley. Is it Bentley? One of the two. I want you to achieve your destiny, etc., as he says. The Caesar story is great. I love the Caesar story. For me, is the whole purpose of buying this book. I love anything ancient Rome. I love it, and just great. Okay, it probably doesn't look a bit like ancient Rome, but it doesn't matter. I thoroughly, because of course, I'm sceptical that a lot of that was there when Caesar was there. Of course, Augustus came along later and apparently built up the place in a bit more impressive state. So I suspect that it didn't look so impressive during the Caesar period, but that, by the by. I love old Professor Lumpkin there as well. Even he gets in it, the postman. What can you can't beat that, can you? And like I said, Ant-Man, he appears all the way through the story. And I love Volder. He is the naffest character in the Marvel Universe. He should be. The thing is, if he wasn't evil, he would have made billions from all his inventions. But instead, he's just a complete useless idiot, as far as I'm concerned. Just annoyed me, the wizard. When I always remember reading The Human Torch, he had all these great inventions in his house. And I always thought, really? Why you want to be an evil guy? Why not just sell them? You'd make millions for that. But no. He just wants to be an evil guy. And you've got Blastaar there. Very unusual looking Blastaar, I have to say. But that's always the way with Michael Allred's art, which I love. And also you've got some other great... Blastaar turns up and there's a lot of complexity there as well. Actually, some really good complexity. The Yancey Street rules as well. The Yancey Street gang as well. And there's also some lovely flashbacks. Well, not flashbacks. Where... Ben Grimm goes back to his sort of childhood haunts and goes sort of storyline goes there, and that's a real quite nice story, a very touching story. I think that's quite a lovely one, and there's some great little scenes all the way through this. Medusa again and She-Hulk, they obviously clearly are, but you got this Council of Doom and things. It's there's like Council of Kang and stuff. I'm sorry, I should probably find this. I'm just looking here. I'm thinking there's a Council of probably the Ant-Man now as well. Impossible Man as well. Anyway, don't want to spoil all the story, so I'm not going to say any more. But I think generally, overall, this is still a decent read. If not, well, it's a very confusing one. If you're coming to this and you really sort of, maybe it would require a couple of reads maybe to get general gist of the thing, because I think they just, did it fit well together? It all came to a reasonably, I think, satisfying sort of ending. I thought it was well done by the end, but it was a real sort of boom, 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 all the way back up to it. And yeah, I'm not going to show that bit. Some quite horrible little scenes there, and yeah, it was good. But there was some odd bits in it as well. And then there was, and I'm just going to quickly turn to this bit. I'm not even certain why they put this bit in. They've got this bit at the end. I mean, actually some quite unusual artwork, but I'm just not really exactly certain why they stuck that in. But, hold on. And you've got this lovely combined variants on the back. So there's some bonus material as well. Actually, the bonus material is quite decent. That's quite a nice sketch variant. You've got a sketch variant, obviously Sue Storm there. Obviously got a slightly different costume there. And of course, the great classic. That must be, I don't know how many times that's been done in variants. That must be literally millions of times that's been done. A bit like Action Comics #1 has been done in so many different forms. But if the artist wants to do that one, it's a pity. I always think that you think that they would do some more variants of other ones, other famous covers. You know, there are other ones that were, I think, are quite, well, I think they've all been done to death, haven't they, in that respect. So you got that one. Still, Scotty Young there. I love that. Actually, you four are so super weird. Very nice. Actually, I think that fits. Actually, Scotty Young would be a brilliant. I'm certain there probably has been some Fantastic Four ones with him. Mike and Allred. Again, I always love his work. And her work as well. Just brilliant. Sketchbook here. You've got the sketches. And that's it. Got a bit of bonus material. Not a huge amount of bonus material at the back of this. But overall, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was a 100% masterpiece of all time. Let's just take the cover off so you can see the... there you can see this nice little wrap around. But I think, to be honest, I think he was the most central character of the story, personally. You can near enough see that they've got them on the front cover and they're on the back. So that sort of gives away the sort of general gist of the story, I think, more than anything. But it's still good. Still very recommended. I enjoyed it. At the end of the day, that's all that matters for me. I enjoyed it. And so I'd say worth checking out.